What if the Roman Empire never collapsed? No dark ages, no fractured Europe, no centuries of chaos. Just one eternal empire stretching across continents, its eagles flying over vast lands. Its laws binding the ancient and modern world together. It might sound like fantasy, but what if history took a different path? What if the greatest empire in Western history never fell? Let's rewind. By 117 AD, the Roman Empire had reached its greatest extent under Emperor Trajan. It stretched from the windswept cliffs of Britannia in the north to the burning deserts of Egypt in the south, from the Atlantic coasts of Hispania to the fertile rivers of Mesopotamia. Over 70 million people lived under its banner, nearly a quarter of the world's population at the time. They were united by Roman roads, protected by Roman legions, and governed by Roman law. Aqueducts brought clean water to cities, amphitheaters hosted spectacles, and education was spreading across classes. This wasn't just power, it was civilization as the Romans defined it. But then, it cracked. In our timeline, the Roman Empire slowly rotted from within. Political corruption, economic collapse, military overstretch, plagues, and the rise of rival powers tore it apart. By 476 AD, the Western Roman Empire officially fell. Europe was left in chaos, knowledge was lost, cities decayed, trade routes vanished. What followed was centuries of decline, the so-called Dark Ages. But what if it didn't end that way? Imagine a Rome that adapted instead of collapsing. What if the emperors embraced reform? Power was decentralized to governors who ruled their provinces efficiently. The economy stabilized. The legions were modernized and better supplied. Even religion, the growing tension between traditional Roman beliefs and Christianity, was resolved through tolerance rather than suppression. In this alternate timeline, Rome doesn't vanish. It evolves. It weathers the storms, shrinks strategically when needed, and re-expands when possible. The empire becomes less about conquest and more about continuity. By the 6th century, it is still powerful, not as a crumbling relic, but as a flexible superstate. Without its fall, Europe remains unified under a central Roman authority. There are no barbarian kingdoms carving up land. There's no Frankish Empire, no Holy Roman Empire, no England, France, or Germany. Just provinces of a greater Roman world. Britannia, Gaul, Hispania, all still part of the same imperial system. Latin never dies out. It remains the universal language, not just of law and learning, but of daily life. Roman infrastructure isn't abandoned, it's upgraded. Roads, bridges, aqueducts, libraries all evolve with the times. Roman cities become megacities. Rome itself transforms into a center of continuous learning and innovation. There's no need to rediscover ancient knowledge because it's never lost. No burning of manuscripts, no monasteries hoarding books. Science, philosophy, and engineering advance without interruption. The Renaissance happens not in the 15th century, but maybe in the 9th or 10th. The Industrial Revolution in this world could begin 300 years earlier. Steam power in the 1200s, mass communication in the 1300s, electricity in the 1400s. Imagine a Roman-built printing press circulating ideas across the empire long before Gutenberg. And then, exploration. In our history, it was Portugal, Spain, and England who launched ships westward. In this alternate world, it's the Roman Empire that crosses the Atlantic. Legions set foot on American soil. Roman forts rise in the New World. No fractured colonization, just expansion under one imperial flag. History's great empires like Britain and France never exist. There is no race for Africa, no Napoleonic wars, no world wars sparked by nationalism. But this isn't a utopia. With such centralization of power, what happens to freedom? Democracy might never develop as we know it. The Roman Senate becomes a symbolic relic, or worse, a tool of control. Civil liberties depend on the whim of emperors. Technology accelerates, but who controls it? Religion, too, looks different. Christianity remains the empire's official faith, but it's deeply woven into the state. There's no Protestant Reformation, no religious wars between Catholics and others, but also no real separation between church and empire. belief becomes another arm of state power. What about slavery? In our history, pressure from religious and moral movements helped abolish it. But in an empire built on slave labor, would such movements be allowed to grow? Maybe slavery lasts longer. Maybe it's replaced by something worse, a permanent underclass within the empire. And yet, in this world, there's no Cold War, no nuclear arms race, no fascism or communism, no world wars that claim millions of lives. The Roman eagle, for better or worse, still flies. So ask yourself, did the fall of Rome free the world to become what it is? Or did it trap us in centuries of unnecessary chaos? This is Shadow History, where we don't just ask what happened, we ask what might have been.